morning, everyone. I'm going to try to share this, and I just want to talk to you a little bit more about libertarian solutions to our current problems, because I really think that everybody is either taking a statist approach to the problem, or they are thinking that we shouldn't have any approach to the problem, or that the problem isn't real. Number one, I want to tell you that I believe the problem is real. I do not think any of this is fake. I think it's a real disease and people are really dying, and it is very dangerous. But while I am staying at home, which is what I always do, and staying away from people, I do have something to say about everybody and how we could solve this problem. So I want to share that, and we'll see whether I'm allowed to. I don't know if I used any of the wrong words, which would mean that not be allowed to. So right now I'm testing to see whether I can see my current live stream. Yeah, I can see it. So I'm going to share it with my other people. My current live stream. I'm going to share it with my other subscribers, if I can. I talk about the problems that we face today. And maybe I should also share it on, well, Facebook, maybe. Okay, so I've shared it a little bit, and I'm going to keep it open here so I can see the live chat. All right, so I don't think it's a hoax. I think it's serious. I think people are dying, and more people will die. But when I talk about this with libertarians, they fall into two camps. The camp that says, well, you have to heal yourself. So each person should pay for their own test. A test isn't healing, and it's not for medical purposes. A test is in order to isolate people in a situation such as this. There is no cure. We want to find out when people are sick, but they don't present any symptoms. Okay? So, what is the libertarian position about this? Well, first of all, do no harm. We don't want to tell people what to do, except when they're about to hurt us. But today, if you breathe on someone and they are vulnerable to this disease, then you are hurting them. So basically, breathing on another person is assault, it's battery, it's rape. And that's why testing is important. We can't all stay at home forever. Because the economy depends on us. So Nassim Taleb suggested a 15-day quarantine with testing. Separate those infected from those who are not infected, and let those who are free go free. If you're disease free, you should be able to go out and work and have a life. That is how to save the economy and the people. But you should pay for the test, not the people being tested, because they stand to lose their liberty. So who should pay for it? Should it be the government? Should it be wealthy donors such as Bill Gates? He keeps saying that he has testing kits for you to test at home. Okay. But who is going to know the results of the test? If the test kit at home is just for you to know and for nobody else to know, then you're still going to stay quarantined. Oh, I think I see somebody saying hi. Ariana is saying hi. Hi, Ariana. Do you want to join me? I can send you a link. Oh, I am live. Shall I send you a link? Okay. She'll be in touch later. All right. Okay. So here's the thing. I understand self-quarantining. I've been doing it for a really long time. I have a chimpanzee in my house. And I know that other people are concerned that my chimpanzee might attack them. So what did I do? I quarantined myself in my house and I quarantined my chimp. And we're not hurting anybody. We're not going out and hurting anyone. And I think that's the right thing to do. So until we have a society where chimpanzees can walk among us and not be hurt by others just for being a chimpanzee, this is the best thing for me to do right now. And so ever since Bo, who is now 18, ever since he turned 5, he's been quarantined in my house. And I've been, forced to stay with him. And when I want to leave, I have to hire a sitter. Okay, this has been really tough on me. But that means that I know about self-isolating and distancing. I know a lot about it. And if you had anybody with very, let's say, rare disease in your house that could hurt other people, that person would end up being quarantined. But does it make sense for the entire population of the country to be quarantined forever? Because really we're never going to get any kind of immunity to this disease if we stay home forever. There are some people who are already immune, they're carriers, I guess. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not a medical expert, and I'm not saying that I have the medical answers to all of this. But here's the moral dilemma that we face. If we lock everybody in forever, we're all going to starve to death because we need food. Okay, so you're saying, well, essential people get to. I don't believe that there is any essential area of our economy. After all, we could all start raising chickens and then we can all eat. So the fact that we have structured it so that agricultural workers feed a majority of people who do not work in agriculture, okay, we could change that. We could all grow our own food, or at least those of us who live out of town would start to do that. The idea that the government should decide who is essential and who is not essential, that bothers me. But on the other hand, there is a crisis. So what do greater thinkers than myself think? Nassim Taleb thought we should all quarantine ourselves for the incubation period. If it's 15 days, we quarantine ourselves for 15 days. If it's 20 days, we quarantine for 20 days. If the incubation period is 30 days, okay, let's quarantine for 30 days, everybody. But then let's test everybody. And since everybody's not touching anybody at all, and I mean not going to the grocery store either, I think that's ridiculous. The idea that you could stop the spread of the disease, everybody goes to the same grocery stores, is ridiculous. They should have told us to stock up and then not leave the house for 15 or 30 days. And then they should have offered tests free of charge to every single person. And those who test positive have to remain in quarantine, and those who test negative get to go about their daily business. That is the libertarian solution. It's a logical solution. Now, it's still being said, but a lot of people will lose their liberty, go out in public once they test positive. If that happens, they shouldn't have to pay for the test. The test is not for their benefit. There is no cure. There is no treatment. The test is not medical treatment. So it should be available free to any person who wants to leave the house or leave their property. Should the government pay for the test? I don't care. Bill Gates wants to pay for it. If wealthy donors want to pay for it, if the corporations who want people to go back to work want to pay for it, great. But it should be offered free because the test is like a lottery. And if you test positive, you don't get to leave the house ever again. Until you test negative, I guess. It's a simple solution, and it would mean that life could go on for the vast majority of people. So does anybody have any comments? Hi, Julia. Do you have any comments, Julia, about what I just said? Oh, Nikki's mom. Hi, Kathy. Kathy, do you have any comments? So a lot of people are at home right now. Okay, so Julia says, my concern is people who cannot spare 2 weeks economically, which is now making it or breaking small businesses. Okay, well, perhaps that those people should not have to pay any income tax and should have their income tax returned to them. I understand self-isolating, and self-isolating makes sense. But I also understand that infecting somebody with a deadly disease is a violation of the non-aggression principle. We actually, public spaces are a strange place, a strange idea, because the space is owned by somebody, usually. Okay, and about the homeless. Okay, let's talk about the homeless. The homeless don't have a place to shelter. Of course, they don't have a place to shelter from the elements either. I believe that the solution to homeless is to hide out in the national forests, in the national parks. Don't close those parks. Don't make it a crime to go there. Don't make it a crime to try to subsist as a hunter-gatherer during this period. I think the homeless should be allowed to go camping there. And yeah, I mean, we wouldn't really be angry with the homeless. A lot of people are angry with the homeless because they're out in plain sight and they do their daily duty in plain sight. And if they're sick, they stand to infect everyone in plain sight. Do they have the right to exist? I believe everybody has the right to exist. But why do you have to do it in a big city? Why not go out into the country, into, land that is owned by the government, which everybody has the right to. We have the right to go grazing on public lands. You should have the right to go hunting on public lands too. Fishing. Go there. Earn your own keep. Be a hunter-gatherer if you don't want to live in the city and if you don't have any money. I mean, I think it's really crazy that they're saying we're going to close the public parks. Every time, there's a moratorium on their getting money for the government, the parks should be open to the public, but the people working in the parks should no longer be there to bar the door. to say, oh, there's a fee for camping here, or there's this, or there's that. If the government is shut down, then open up the parks. You know, that's what I think we should do. As far as people not being able to afford 2 weeks off from work, I understand that, but they can't afford their Social Security taxes either. They can't afford everything that's being taken out of their paycheck. So if we just don't make them pay their taxes for the previous year and refund all their taxes if they've already had that collected, they'll be set. You know, we have to remember that the real solution is not to tax people. The real solution is to let them keep what they've already earned. So on my Instagram, I have one very popular picture. A picture looks like this. It's just words. And it says, instead of relief checks to all, how about suspending all forms of taxation until after the crisis? That includes property taxes. That includes income taxes, of course. It includes sales tax, which includes, the sales tax they put on food. In a crisis, why would you do that? Well, why would you ever do that? Why would you ever tax food? Or anything else for that matter. So I'm not popular on Instagram, not at all. And I usually only get between 2 and likes. I got 58 on this idea. And I know that's not a lot either, but yeah, suspend all forms of taxation, give people back the money that they already paid, and they can certainly afford 2 weeks off for that. It's going to be a lot more than that $1,200 relief check that's supposed to come in May. One-time check, and they're going to keep us quarantined for months. So we can't afford to be quarantined for months. We can afford one-time quarantine for the incubation period, with everybody who tests negative being allowed to go back out. That's a solution. Okay, so I'm going to sign off now, and I'll see what comments you leave later on. Thank you.